What's good, YouTubers and YouTubettes? This is JB Sports back again with another one. Tevin Farmer going in on Gary Russell Jr. for the comments he made in a recent interview. You know, they was talking about the 135-pound division, in particular, Gervonta Davis. The guy was asking Gary Russell about that, and Gary Russell said, I don't have no problem jumping up from 126 to 135. You know, I don't have no problem, man. I could go up there and beat all the top guys up there. And then he said, you know, before I do all that, man, I wouldn't even mind stopping at 130 on my way up there because Tevin Farmer mentioned my name. And this guy here has been knocked out before. The guy's got 4 losses, has no power. He said, I wouldn't mind fighting him and breaking my foot off in his ass. That's basically what Gary Russell Jr. said. And Tevin Farmer obviously didn't take too kind to those statements. And he says, look here, Gary, I'm not Tank. You know, you talk crazy to Tank and Tank ain't responding. You punked Leo Santa Cruz. You know, you ran up on his father, put your hands around his father's shoulder, grabbed his father's chain and told him, I can touch your family. You need to come see me. Basically punked Leo Santa Cruz, and he still didn't want to fight you. And he said, I'm not now one of them 2 guys. You know, so let me tell you something, man. When I say I want to fight you next, that's what I want to do, man. Just look at my track record. When I said I wanted to fight JOJO Carroll, it was next. He was next. I fought him next. When I said JOJO was next, you see, I'm going to fight him on January 30th. Now I'm saying you're next. After I take care of JOJO, I want to fight you next. And don't make no excuses. You know, saying that you don't want to fight me, we on separate sides of the streets or this, that, and the third, because you are basically a free agent. You know, you're not affiliated to no promoter. You know, you've been fighting under the PBC banner for multiple years, but, you know, that you already said that they're not getting you any fights that you want. You can't even get the Leo Santa Cruz fight. You can't get the Gervonta Davis fight. You can't get none of the big fights. So you've been, dipping and dabbing with other promoters, you know, talking about you might have to leave PBC, but you failed to do that. You know, you're barking, but you ain't actually, ain't no bite behind that as far as actually leaving PBC when they don't deliver what you want them to deliver for you as far as big fights go. So Tevin Farmer said, I am that one. He say, you talking mad noise, you bumping your gums and stuff, you selling a lot of wolf tickets, but you got to come see me after I take care of JOJO. You take care of your business with your mandatory, we can make it happen. You know, we can make it happen. You saying you talking to me like I'm some kind of scrub. I'm some kind of guy that's just, you know, ain't all that good, no power, been knocked out before, got 4 losses, and you saying you're going to break your foot off of my ass. Well, let's see what happens, man. Let's make it happen, Captain. That's basically what Tevin Farmer is telling Gary Russell. So we'll see what happens, man. But that'll be a good matchup, man. And if you look at those weight classes, the ones I'm saying like the 126, 130, 135 weight class, you know, all the top guys are pretty much tied up, man. You got Lomachenko fighting Teofimo Lopez. That fight looks like it's going to go down at Madison Square Garden in April. Then you got Leo Santa Cruz versus Gervonta Tank Davis. That's going to be a pay-per-view on Showtime. They're looking to make that fight happen sometime in the spring. And so those guys are tied up, and those are the top guys at the weight class. Shakur Stevenson looks like he's finna have a unification matchup with Josh Warrington over there in the UK sometime in the spring. So all the top guys are tied up. Then it came out today that Oscar Valdez and Mikhail Burchett is going to battle. That's going to be a big fight. That's going to be on the ESPN platform. So all those guys tied up. They leave both of you guys free. Pending that both of you guys take care of your business. You know, I think Gary Russell will take care of his business in the mandatory. He's fighting a guy, Nabangu, as I butcher his name. I watched a little bit of video of him. He's pretty good. He's pretty solid, but he's not on the level of Gary Russell Jr., man. As you know, as the old boxing saying goes, there's levels to this, and he's not on Gary Russell Jr. level. So Gary Russell, is he focused? He should win that fight he should win that fight very handily. I'm not saying he's gonna dominate him or just knock him out in the first round, but he should win that fight with not too many problems. Now, as far as JoJo Diaz go as Tevin Farmer's next opponent, January 30th in Miami, the weekend of the Super Bowl, that's a 50-50 fight. Tevin Farmer could, win that fight on a decision by outboxing JoJo, Dan. JoJo Diaz, or he can succumb to the power of JoJo. JoJo is a hard hitter, big guy at that weight class, man. Hard hitter, brings a lot of pressure. Is an underrated boxer with good skills, good body puncher. So he could wear down Tevin Farmer if Tevin Farmer don't have any kind of power to kind of put him on his heels to make him respect. If he don't have a power, if he can't get JoJo's respect with his power shots, Tevin Farmer could be in for a long night, man. As JoJo could kind of walk him down and break him down to the body and just overwhelm him with his power and ferocity and aggression. So we'll see what happens, man. We'll see how that fight plays out, man. But both guys come victorious through their next fight. That's the fight to make, man. That's the fight to make. Looking at the landscape of the 126, 130, and 135 weight divisions, that's the best fight available for both guys. That should be the fight that need to be made. And the press conference would be epic, man. Just looking at how them guys going back and forth on Twitter, it could be a epic press conference. Epic stare down. You know, it could be very, very good, man. You can do some good numbers on DAZN or Showtime, wherever they have it at. It'll probably be on looking to have it on DAZN. Eddie Hearn probably offer up pretty good money for that fight. Will PBC be willing to match that? That remains to be seen, man. But if I had to guess, I would think that fight would probably be on DAZN. You know, based on he will be moving up to fight for Tevin Farmer's title. Tevin Farmer will be putting his title on the line. It'll be a chance for Gary Russell to win a title in a different weight class, and that'll be something that he can add on to his resume. So we'll see what happens, man. But both guys are very, very good as far as the matchup goes. Both guys are very technically sound. Both guys got good speed. I think Gary Russell has an advantage in the speed department. I think he's got faster hands. The power advantage definitely goes to Gary Russell. Both guys got high boxing IQ, but I actually will give Tevin Farmer a slight edge in boxing IQ just for the fact that I think Gary Russell he exposes himself a little bit more. He's so offensive minded, Gary Russell. He's so offensive minded he leaves himself open sometimes to catch shots. Tevin Farmer's a little bit more defensively responsible. He gets his offensive onslaught on too, but he rarely takes solid shots like Gary Russell did. Gary Russell was getting caught with some good shots in the JoJo Diaz fight. He got caught with some good shots. Even in his last fight that he won convincingly, he caught some shots early in that fight. So he catches more flush shots than Tevin Farmer has, here recently. Before the time, since he's been on he's been on a pretty good winning streak here lately, Tevin Farmer. Since he's improved himself as far as his chin. No, I'm not gonna say his chin, but as soon as he proved himself as far as defense and his boxing skills has got improved dramatically. His defense has been second to none, man, in boxing, man. So he very rarely gets hit. He very rarely gets hit with flush shots. So I think his boxing IQ is slightly better than Gary Russell's boxing IQ, even though I think both guys have real strong boxing IQ. So we'll see what happens, man. But I think the difference is like Gary Russell was saying, the power. I don't think Tevin Farmer, like this could hurt him in the JoJo Diaz fight. But it definitely hurt him if he fights Gary Russell. I just don't think he has the power to keep Gary Russell up off of him. Gary Russell is going to walk through his punches, and Gary Russell has the speed advantage. He's going to be able to get his shots off, and I think that eventually be the downfall of Tevin Farmer. I can see if them two fight a fight that's very competitive in the first 6 rounds, but in the second half of the fight, Gary Russell starts taking over, landing hard shots, and I can see like a late stoppage by Gary Russell, maybe an 11th round stoppage. TKO stoppage for Gary Russell Jr. But we'll wait till that fight gets made, if it gets made, for me to make an official prediction. But that's just how I see it right now. We'll see how both fighters look in these next 2 fights, and then maybe I can do my official pick if the fight gets made, and maybe I change my mind based on how both guys look in their upcoming fights. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what transpires. Leave your comments in the comment section who you think will win a potential matchup between Tevin Farmer and Gary Russell Jr. You can also leave comments on what you think about the back and forth, them two guys having the water words the guys having on Twitter. Well, Gary Russell said that he'll break his foot off into Tevin Farmer's ass, and Tevin Farmer responded saying, "I'm not Tank. I ain't scared of you. You're bumping your gums. You're selling wolf tickets. You're talking a lot of shit. And you got to back your words up when you meet me in the ring. So come see me after I take care of JoJo and you win your mandatory. You got to come see me, man, with the words you said and the talk and the noise that you've been talking. You got to see me." That's basically what Tevin Farmer been. That's basically Tevin Farmer's response to Gary Russell Jr. We'll see what happens, man. But this is JB Sports, the man, the myth, the legend. Holla.